Good morning, everyone. Hope you're all well. The problem with love is that it's not a respecter of religion. And as a consequence, sometimes people fall in love and religion gets in the way. And when that happens, it's very, very difficult. One deals with that on numerous occasions in the course of a rabbinic life because it is these days so very frequent. And in this letter, a young lady writes to the Lubavitcher Rebbe. Now, she's obviously an observant religious girl, and she is considering marrying someone. It's not clear from the Rebbe, from the letter, whether the person that she wants to marry is not Jewish or simply not in the least bit religious. And she's asking, but everything else seems to work, you know, the fundamentals, the relationship seems to be good and everything else. So she writes to the Lubavitcher Rebbe to seek his advice. Should she proceed with this relationship, and if not, what are the reasons? So it's quite a long letter, and it raises some really interesting issues here. First of all, he starts off with a couple of prefatory remarks. The first is that, you know, when you're making a decision about marriage, you're making a decision about the rest of your life. And therefore, you should be looking not just at the initial phases of the relationship, when it's in its early stages, but you've got to take a long view and look down the line and look for many, many years that follow. And therefore, when looking at that, you've got to be looking not just at the, you know, in terms of the relationship, the special and festive days, but you also have to take into account daily life as it becomes routine, day in, day out. Because for a relationship to succeed, two people must be consistently good and stable and harmonious and sincere, because that obviously affects the atmosphere of the home. And that is the core of any successful marriage, the day-to-day relationship that pervades the atmosphere of the home. And I think everybody would recognize that. The second is that in order to be able to attain this kind of relationship, there has to be complete openness and cooperation and buy-in from both partners. Both should be able to give willingly and freely. Both parties need to be giving to this relationship because of a desire to give to it, rather than any sense of compulsion. Compulsion or bullying in a relationship is never going to work. If one side compels the other side, it's going to lead to a great deal of happiness. And then he wants to make the point over here that, you know, and this is what makes me suspect that perhaps the relationship is with somebody who's in fact not Jewish. So you should just remember that as far as the Jewish religion is concerned, our way of life is radically different from other religions in that other religious experiences is generally confined to certain occasions or to certain events, to certain days or to certain happenings. The rest of the time, people get on with a normal life. So, you know, Christian will go to church on Sunday. That is a religious moment. After that, you know, life goes on as normal. So, but the Jewish religion embraces the life of a Jew in its totality. You can't get away from it, even on a daily basis. Every aspect of daily life is permeated, you know, by obligations, by responsibilities, by Jewish actions, Torah and mitzvot. Know him in all of your ways, as King Solomon said. So you're dealing with somebody, it's all very well to say, well, you know, religion, you know, well, okay, so religion doesn't come into our lives that often, you know, there'll be occasional moments when we have religious moments. It doesn't work that way if you're going to be a religious Jew. So this partner who's not religious is going to come up against it all the time, every single day, in every small little way, in the way in which you run, the whole way in which you run the home. Jewish religion is pervasive in the home. So these are the prefatory background that he wants to now give to the specific advice that he's going to offer. And we'll come back to some of that, having laid down these foundations. We'll come back to that, please. In the meantime, we wish you all a good morning, and we welcome our onliners